When Burgess Meredith first came on the set as Penguin, and I had a chance to work with him face to face, his ability as an actor made me feel so good because you could stand toe to toe and you just got that kind of interplay and feed. I was delighted that Burgess Meredith was cast as Penguin because, of course, I was aware of his incredible body of work, of Mice and Men and his Broadway things, and Burgess was a wonderful raconteur, a very funny man. And when he got into that makeup with the pointed nose and the cigarette always going and a cigarette holder, and he blew smoke in my face, it was very effective. I loved him as Penguin. He had a certain elegance and why, that's right, Batman. Why, ah. He was fun to work with. Cesar Romero had enormous energy and thoroughly professional. I was fascinated because he had a lot of lines and his role was very physical and big. The laugh, everything, the movement. And between setups, Cesar would go sit in his canvas back chair and immediately go to sleep. He came in thoroughly prepared, but he'd go to sleep, and an assistant would walk up and say, Cesar, we're ready now. Instantly awake, and he was there. And I watched that, and I used it as kind of a lesson that maybe I could do the same kind of thing. I never could. Not like Cesar. When Cesar was cast, and again, Bill Dozier had a great talent for casting people, a talent for putting talent together. Cesar would not shave his mustache because somewhere in the back of his mind, there was something that said, I have been a great Latin lover star, and it's all my mustache. So we said, fine, fine. We just put the white makeup over the mustache so that it kind of bristled through, and people saw that and wondered, what the hell's going on? That Joker had that kind of ego that it'd go on over the mustache, so he'd always have his mustache. Frank Gorshin as Riddler had a manic energy that I really enjoyed. Frank, I love it when actors with whom you're working are right on the edge and trying new things. And Frank was that way. He had that kind of energy. He would be all over the place and he'd try anything. And we made each other laugh a lot, and that helped too. Frank was a funny man, and he just got it instantly what it was. And when we did our Batman movie, feature film, I had a chance to work with Frank, with Cesar, with Burgess Meredith, Leanne Merriweather, and we combined all of the villainy of those people in one movie. Victor Buono, a huge actor as King Tut in many ways. Physically, Victor was a very big man, and he was a terrific actor with a great sense of humor. And I cracked up when he was hit on the head, as in the role as the funny professor, and he was hit on the head, and immediately thought he was King Tut. This was very funny stuff because he put on the robes, the whole costume. And one day we were doing a scene in which Bruce Wayne was wandering into the museum, and King Tut, I think, was in a mummy kind of coffin affair. and it fell over. And I ad-libbed, "Stretcher bearer! Stretcher bearer!" To I don't know what happens sometimes, but with people like Victor, you could do that moment of comedy that seemed to work. George Sanders was unavailable, and Eli Wallach, as an incredible performer, was chosen, and he decided to do it. And then, because it was a hot show, Otto Preminger wanted to do it. And Otto Preminger was a bit of a problem on the set. He was being somewhat Teutonic, I guess is the word, but, you know, having been the director of a number of great films, he didn't take direction very well. There was a scene in which I was to run in as Batman and pick him up when he was Mr. Freeze on the floor. And instead of helping me at all, like most actors might, in a more dance-like move to make it easier, he just glued himself to the floor. And after about the 10th take, I came running in and kicked him in the ribs, and he jumped and he allowed me to pick him up. But he was a challenge. Vincent Price, a very witty man, I'm sure you've heard that, and someone who was erudite, and fun to be around, because Vincent knew a lot about a lot of stuff, and he, as an art collector, it was appealing to me because I draw and I paint, and Lord knows he was deeply involved in the art scene, and he was encouraging to me. Milton Berle played Louis the Lilac, and just chewed up the scenery and all the flowers on his costume. And later I worked with Milton because I was the guest on the show he was hosting, Hollywood Palace. And Milton was difficult from moment to moment if he didn't understand where you were coming from. He would totally take over. But so Milton and I had a big battle the first day of rehearsal. And I said, "Look, Milton, I've created this character and I'm playing it this way, and it's fun and it's funny, and I'm going to do it that way, and we'll see what happens." And he understood that. You had to really stand up to Milton. But once you did, it was great. You know, he had that incredible energy. And then after I guested on the Hollywood Palace, then I became the host of Hollywood Palace for, I don't know, 2 or 3 other shows. But I've done a painting of Louis the Lilac too. I'm not selling my pictures, you know, painting, but Milton and Louis is one of those characters that very colorful.